All right, everyone, here in the interview room, we've been joined now by Elliott Sadler, who is driving the number 81 Alert Energy Gum Toyota this weekend here at Kansas Speedway. And, you know, Elliott got an open weekend on the Nationwide Series where you're seventh in points there, but my goodness, getting back out on the track and getting back out here at Kansas Speedway, I know is very important to you.
Well, it is, and it's definitely a great opportunity, and I think that's the biggest thing that I know as a person is the opportunity is given to me to be able to race here in Kansas and also here in a couple of weeks at Talladega. I can't thank Coach Gibbs and JD and everybody at JGR for giving me this chance to get back in Cup racing, and also for Alert Energy Gum to come on board to really put this all together to make this possible. So it's neat. It's fun. I feel like a kid in a candy store all over again. You know, almost like the first day of high school. So it's been a great feeling this week, getting ready and getting prepared to come here to Kansas this weekend.
You know, you've had an opportunity in the Nationwide Series to drive the new car there, which obviously, you know, has moved on. Not the new car anymore. It's just the style we drive. And now in the Gen 6 car for your Cup debut this season. So talk about driving in that.
Gen 6 car definitely drives a lot different than the last time I've been in some Cup cars here on the intermediate style of racetrack. I tested a few Gen 6 cars this winter for JGR at New Smyrna, so I've been in a little bit, but definitely a little bit different than the last time I was here in Kansas in a Cup car. So it's definitely a fast race car. They look sharp. I mean, it's a good-looking car. Seems to have put on some really good races so far this year. Just glad I get to try one in real racing conditions. So, you know, we're looking forward to this weekend to learn more about what this car gives us and how is it to drive in traffic and restarts and all the things that you have to go through as a race car driver. So, you know, we're looking forward to that.
Good. You have questions for Elliott, let us know. We'll bring you the mic, and we'll start with Stan.
Stan Kriegmore with RPM tonight. Elliott, talk about what this means from your growth standpoint, because I know no matter what you say, you would love to be full-time back in Cup racing. So what does a race like this with this kind of team operation with JGR mean to your future?
Well, it means a lot, and it means a lot to me personally, I think, more than anything. And I want people to really understand that it means a lot to me personally for these guys. I mean, this takes a lot of effort to do what they call like a one-off team, where you got to bring extra guys in. You got to build extra cars. You got to do extra research. You got to do, you know, TRD's got to build extra engines. I mean, there's a lot that goes into running a couple races here and there. So it's a big commitment. It's a big commitment from JD and his guys. So it means a lot to me personally for them to give me this opportunity where they can evaluate me in their equipment, and then you know, we'll just take it from there. So it's like I said before, I understand the opportunity that's being placed in front of me, and you know, we want to make the most of it, take advantage of it, and you know, see where this road leads us.
I have another. I should have kept.
Please, I'll re-say it again if you want me to.
In all the years of watching you, I remember your dad being so excited, seeing you race and win and everything, and your brother being happy too and everything. How important is it to you? Your kids are getting now close to the age of where they'll remember the great days. So
right.
How important as well is it that they get a chance not just to see you win in Nationwide, but to show that you can win and will win in the Cup side?
You know, that's a really good question, and I've tried to explain this to people, and then I saw, you know, Kevin Harvick one day kind of say the same thing I'd been saying a couple years before his son was born. My kids have made me a better race car driver for a lot of different reasons, but mainly because, you know, you want your kids to look up to you, and you want to set a good example, too, about whatever you're doing. You want to do it right, and you want to focus on it, and you want to do it to the best of your ability. You know, and I don't want to be a failure for my kids. I want to be somebody they can look up to. And I feel like the last 3 years, I'm a better race car driver now, and mentally and physically, than I was 8 or 9 years ago. More prepared, and I think a lot of that comes from, you know, my kids, especially my son, because, you know, he's a little bit older, so he's been around a little bit more. But I think definitely having them around has made me probably appreciate good stuff that happens to us at the racetrack and good time spent at home. But I think at the end of the day, it's definitely made me more of a focused driver than what I was 8 or 9 years ago. Hey, Kenny.
Kenny Bruce, NASCAR.com. You're not hunting this weekend. Okay, we know the talent level from a driver standpoint, from a team standpoint, is really good with this group. And as far as the equipment, there's no question about it. But because it is just one of 3 races that you guys are going to run, what are the realistic expectations for how well you guys could or should do?
You know, that's a good question. And, I haven't been in a Cup car in a while. And, when I got back into this morning, it's a lot different than what it was a couple years ago. So it took me a few laps to get used to it. As far as expectations, we are coming to throw caution to the wind and hopefully can use some pitch strategy and take some chances and maybe do some things other teams can't do. And let's try to lead some laps and win the race. We're not coming here and say if we finish 20th or 25th or whatever, I'm just making up a number, and be happy. If I was a rookie and never raced before, then I'd say, yeah, that's a realistic goal that we'd be happy with. But being I've been in this series and have won in this series and sat on poles in this series, we're coming here to Kansas. We're going to do the best we can. If we got a chance to take some chances and get ourselves a really good finish and finish up front, we're going to do that. The next 2 races are Talladega, which anything goes, and I got a pretty good track record there too with leading laps and running up front. So we really feel like, honestly, that we can come here and be very, very competitive for these 3 races. Car was pretty good in practice. I haven't been in one of these things in a while, and I haven't been on bump stops in a while. So and it took me a couple laps and to really get a feel of that. I've been leaning on Matt Kenseth a lot this week and stuff, trying to get the feel of what he's what he's looking for in practice to be good in the race, because it's my first time in a Gen 6 car at this style of racetrack. But it actually drove pretty good. The motor feels great. And we got an okay draw for qualifying, maybe a little earlier than we want. But, our goal today is to make sure we don't do anything stupid and make sure we're in the race, and then we really can start being aggressive tomorrow and getting ready for the race on Sunday.
Anything else for Elliott?
Yeah. You can ask me anything, Kenny. We go way back.
Do you guys have a backup car in case something should happen?
Yes. We do have a backup car in case something happens, but of course it does not have the time and thought and energy in it this first car does. This first car has been to the wind tunnel, has been massaged on the last couple of weeks. We've got it as good as we can get it leaving the shop. The backup car is never always prepared 100% as the first car is, but we do have one in case something silly happens. That wasn't a bad question. You can ask me that.
In my history, I seem to remember that once a driver moves up the Cup, they seem to learn stuff that makes them that much better, even a nationwide driver. So how much will these 3 races even mean to your run for a championship on the nationwide side?
Well, I think, honestly, the last couple of years I've shown that I can run for a championship. We've been very close. And I think the biggest thing, when you get out of a Cup car that has so much more horsepower and sends you in the corner so much faster, when you get back in a nationwide car, it's a huge advantage. You really feel like you can manhandle that car a lot more. And that's the biggest thing. It's almost, I wish I was running a Cup car and a nationwide car on the same weekend, because you get back in a nationwide car, it feels like you're running 50 miles an hour, and you can really manhandle that thing around. That is the really biggest difference. And I think why a lot of these guys are going back and forth racing these races the way they are. As far as running for a championship, of course I learned experiences through my Cup career that I've tried to use in a nationwide series these last couple years, but I think that's just experience altogether, not necessarily what particular series I'm in.
Anything else for Elliott? All right, Elliott, good luck this weekend. Thanks.
Thank you.